An expected announcement of a new mayoral committee in Joburg was supposed to happen today, but was postponed again. It comes after Thapelo Amad was sworn in as the new mayor on Monday. There appears to have been intense negotiation taking place. The announcement was initially expected 4 days ago. Political parties in the Joburg Council coalition have been trading to ensure that they're all represented. This is supposed to be the mayoral committee that will ensure that services are delivered to residents. How does all of this affect service delivery? Dr Thina Nzo is at the Public Affairs Research Institute. Dr Nzo, good evening and thank you very much indeed for your time. When we keep having delays in the announcement of who's supposed to be on the mayoral committee, what's happening behind the scenes? Is there an argument? Dare I say it, could the argument be about patronage?
Thanks, Stephen. Good afternoon to your viewers. Actually, we are back to square one again, where we know that behind the scenes there's a lot of negotiations, particularly happening behind these smaller local parties that have decided to boot out the mayor of the city of Joburg. So you understand that this is a very fragile relationship because some of these political parties had to go back and even renegotiate their partnerships. So right now what we're sitting with is most probably plenty of disagreements that are happening behind the scenes when it comes to the distribution of the various portfolios where the members of the mayoral committees are supposed to preside. And here we know that there are specific parties who might be looking for specific portfolios that they would like to gain control of in the mayoral committee. So yeah, I think there is a landlock behind the scenes where there are disagreements that are ongoing on which party gets which seat.
When this kind of thing happens, normally in negotiations, you know, the biggest party kind of has some kind of leadership role. They can maybe dictate things a little bit. They have a little bit of sort of negotiating room, let me put it like that. In this case, it's a bit more complicated. Sure, the ANC would be the biggest party in this coalition, but they don't want to appoint someone as mayor. So does that make it all a bit complicated? Does it muddy the water if you have a person from a minority party as mayor?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it makes it complicated, and what we can see playing out in the public realm is that the PA seems to be the bigger minority party that is actually leading this coalition formation, and you can actually see through their posture that most probably they are the ones who are having a bigger voice in the negotiation table, and Al-Jamaa also positioning itself as another smaller party that is becoming a king player. I mean, so the main kingmaker in this negotiation. So yeah, the ANC has slightly been given a backseat, but obviously being a party that is experienced when it comes to governance, there is that sense of respect that is given to the ANC to say that, okay, in terms of our legitimacy, because you have a larger constituency, we'll bring you in as a partner. But the way you read the body language through the media interviews that they've been having, you can see who are the key individual parties who are leading these negotiations. And here it's the kingmakers such as the PA and the Al-Jamaa.
What impact does this all have on services? So we have a delay now. We don't know what's going to happen. Possibly a fragile coalition. Look, I mean, Dr Nzo, we know that the EFF and the ANC, the relationship is complex, sometimes quite heated, frankly. I mean, what does all of this do to I hate to ask the question because I kind of know the answer. What does it all do to service delivery if a coalition doesn't function?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question because right now what we're looking at is that most municipalities are going through the process of their budget adjustments. So there are certain decisions that need to be taken concerning the budget and also taking into account that we're faced with a looming crisis of load shedding that obviously will have an impact not only in the distribution of electricity but also revenue generation as well. So there's a lot of decisions that need to be taken considering the finances of the municipality and also looking at these projections before the financial year and in June. So some of these processes may be affected because we know that previously, for example, if you look at a study that was conducted by the Mapunguba Institute, where they found that, you know, the kind of messiness that happens behind the council chambers actually has an impact on the administrative wing when it comes to decision making. And another thing, Steve, Stephen, that we also tend to overlook is that such, indecisiveness that happens has an impact in causing a lot of anxiety amongst the administration, because you don't know which member of the mayoral committee is going to come in, and we don't know what kind of decisions are they going to be mandated with coming from their party, which may disrupt the previous, decisions that have been taken by council and the respective committee. So it does cause a lot of anxiety, but at the same time, it also causes a lot of delays in decisions that need to be taken in order for the budgets to be allocated to supplement or complement some of the service delivery priority issues that need to be looked at.
Dr. Nzo, while we talk to you, the City of Joburg has just released a statement saying that, in fact, the new mayoral committee has been appointed. The finance member of the mayoral committee will be Dada Morero from the ANC, the Group Corporate and Shared Services, Loiso Masuku, also from the ANC, Environment and Infrastructure Services, Public Safety, Development Planning, Economic Development, and Housing and Community Development, all coming from other parties. From what I can see, this is the first time I've seen this announcement, the ANC has probably most of the bigger portfolios, followed by the EFF and then the Patriotic Alliance. I suppose that goes to your point that it is the ANC that's kind of in the driving seat with the biggest number of seats in Joburg.
Absolutely, Stephen. I mean, we can't take it away that the ANC has been around in the local government sector for quite a while, even though they did lose power after the 2016 election through having a hung council in the city of Johannesburg. So I guess that shows that although the smaller parties are trying to leverage their power as partners who are needed, to form this coalition, but they do acknowledge the fact that making the ANC to step in and take a more leadership role when it comes to political management in the executive sort of like gives them a safe space and a space where they can say, we trust that at least everything will be under control in the city. But that is relative, because we know that for the past few years, the ANC has contributed to the messes that we have seen in the city of Joburg. So it's a catch-22 here. We will see what the ANC will have to do in the next coming few months, and then it will be judged from the kind of turnaround strategies that they will bring in those portfolios.
Dr. Thina Nzo, thank you, from the Public Affairs Research Institute.